Hey there, my name is Victoria, and I will be talking about Scotland, which is a part of Great Britain, which is in Northern Europe. In the picture above, you can see where Scotland is located. It is the most northern part of the United Kingdom. It's right above Ireland and England and Wales. There are two different flags on this slide. The blue and white flag is actually the individual flag of Scotland. The white part does represent St. Andrew, which is their patron, and then it is on a blue background, which is to be the blue sky. And then the other flag is a multicolored flag, which represents Great Britain, which is the joining of England and Scotland first, and then Ireland. All of this combines the three most older nations. The red cross represents England, the white saltire, which is the X, is St. Andrew of Scotland, and then the red is for Ireland. It is located in Europe, as I said previously. It is a monarchy. The official language is English and also Scottish Gaelic. The capital of Scotland is Edinburgh, and the main religion is Christianity. Obviously, within Christianity, there is many various forms of it. Anglican, Church of Scotland, which is pretty dominant, as well as Methodist and Catholic. These are a few greetings and etiquettes in Scotland. Handshaking is the main gesture. Women always raise their hand first to initiate the handshake, and within the two sexes, men and women, they shake hands respectively. And eye contact is a big thing, so if that eye contact is broken, it is not considered okay. Personal space and their personal bubbles is a big thing. 2 to 3 feet away while speaking. Touching is very limited, and it's really not acceptable if you're to touch someone, especially if you don't know them. And it's a big thing if you don't know them and you're out in person and touch someone. While eating, you don't eat with your hands. You never burp or touch your nose or wipe your nose. And whenever you are going to an event, it is always important to have a gift for the host, and guests are always served first. Folk medicine uses a lot of herbs and shrubs and trees, also some food. A big one is hazel and the ferns, which, witchcraft and magic away. It also helps with intestinal bleeding and jaundice. Seaweeds were actually smoked as tobacco, and it helped preserve the foods, especially in the wintertime because the winter is very bad in Scotland. Bog myrtle is a very strong scent, and it's used to help repel insects and mosquitoes and fleas if you were to have a problem. There are also a few other ones on this slide. Big taboos in Scotland. It's really rude to jump the line, so never jump the line. It is also very rude to turn down a drink, so if you like drinking, go to Scotland. When you're out with a group, everyone actually does take turns buying rounds of drinks for everyone, and literally everyone in the group has to buy a drink. So, the tabs can be very big. And also, a big thing, never call a Scottish person English. That is very offensive. And another kind of taboo that's kind of weird that I found out, pigs were very uncommon in Scotland. So the ancestors in old traditional thinking were to believe that pigs were a no-no. So we have this. These are just some little cuisines. Everything. There's whiskey and pudding and porridge and talbot, which is kind of like a dessert. You can see right there. Scotland is a place known for many invasions and settlements, which contributes to the society today and their culture. Some of the earliest settlements is before, Christ, 10,000 BCE, which is a Paleolithic era of hunter and gatherers. There were many amounts of kings and queens, and due to the invasions and people wanting to rule Scotland, that started at 1005 AD. Some of the kings and queens were Macbeth, Malcolm III, Duncan II, Alexander I. There was House of Bruce and House of Stuart. House of Stuart was actually the last house to actually control Scotland before the union of the two crowns of Scotland and England were done. There also was clans in Scotland. These were mainly in the Highlands, which are the hills and mountains of Scotland. And these were created because kings and queens really had no rule over the Highlands. Clan feuds were big, and the clan system was based off the Highland way of life. So pretty much every clan acted a little different. Their style of food was a little different. How they talked was a little different. This did start to die out by the 18th century, and the Battle of Culloden in 1746 had a major impact in the clans, but you still can see people wearing their clan symbol till this day. Food guidance of Scotland. The big thing that I found out was the lack of fruits and vegetables that were eaten, which is really weird because Scotland has a good source of soil and the crops that can be planted there, whether it's fruits and vegetables. I don't know, I just thought that was weird. And for some reason now they like to eat meat and saturated fats and a lot of sugars. And I did find my healthy eating plate, which is a recommendation of what you should eat every day. And then above that is just a chart of how little people actually eat fruits and vegetables and the different age ranges that there were. You guys can kind of read this if you want more about the food guidance. And I also found out main health diseases or disorders were type 2 diabetes, cancer, heart disease, obesity, which correlates with how they eat, which is very, very poor. They are trying to implement different ways to promote healthy eating, but like I said, it was just kind of weird because their ancestors ate fairly healthy whenever they could. The diet is the second leading cause of death and all of those diseases and disorders that go with poor diet choices. Like I just stated, poor diet is consumed high saturated fat, meat consumption, alcohol intake, salt intake, and sugar intake. Some famous traditional Scottish drinks. The famous Scotch whiskey, made of malt barley, and it is said to help with the cold and rugged terrain that Scottish people deal with. I'm not sure how to say this, but this is a liqueur. It's made with Scotch whiskey, honey, spices, and herbs. That is very popular over there. There is ale, which is a malty dark beer with a smoky flavor that is made over in Scotland. And then a carbonated drink, similar, I guess, to orange soda, and that was made in 1901. There is a lot of traditional foods. The main food is haggis, which sounds really gross. It is actually banned here in America for whatever reason, but you cannot get haggis here, and that is what I was reading about. But it includes sheep liver, lung, and heart with onions. It's actually encased in a sheep's stomach, which I'll have pictures of that, or I already did as well. Neeps and toddies are pretty much potatoes and carrots. It's kind of, I don't know. It's boiled in salt water until the contents are soft. Since Scotland does have a lot of rivers and lakes and surrounded by water, there do a lot of wild game. They fish a lot. There's haddock and salmon, which some are the more popular fish. Sheep and lamb, rabbit, and beef are also consumed. Like I said, pork was a taboo, so not many pigs are native to the region, which is why they really don't eat pork. Some desserts are tablets, which is a sweet, I guess, almost fudge, but not fudge, and then scones, bread puddings, dumplings, and those other two names I really can't pronounce. Bannocks are pretty much a grain flatbread that are sweet. They also eat oatmeal for breakfast, porridge, shortbread cookies, stuff like that. I did do some researching and found some famous restaurants in Scotland. If you guys do want to click on these links, it Shows you where they are, what type of menu. Some are actually restaurants and not motels, but inns that you can stay at. So if you guys are interested, you can click on the links. And this is actually one of the menus. Obviously, they don't use American currency. The religion, majority of the religion is Christianity, like I said, but there are other religions. Scotland has known to be multi-faith society, and these are some of the more popular churches and some of the prettier churches I found. And since Christianity is the main religion, two main holidays stem from that, which is Easter and Christmas. Easter in Scotland, lunch and dinner are very special. There is a sample menu of cream of carrots, soup, roasted lamb, and I don't know even how to say that word. Egg hunts take place, concerts. They also do battle reenactments of the clans and just the famous battles that happened in Scotland. A tradition is painting an egg and rolling it down the hill. It's really popular. It symbolizes the waving away of the stone of the tomb of Jesus Christ. And the first egg to reach the bottom wins. These are just some pictures of the sample menu. There's the soup and the lamb. And then that's a picture of the kids rolling eggs down the hill. Christmas in Scotland, these are just some of the more, these are just pictures of food on Christmas in Scotland. It was actually banned for 400 years until 1958. Similar to the United States, it's a very relaxed day. People go to church. Children receive gifts. The night before, they hang stockings, and kids wait for Santa to arrive. The meals present are different fruit cakes, almond cakes, whiskey cakes, bannock cakes, which I talked about a few slides ago, sun cakes, puddings, roasted duck, smoked salmon are also on the table. They do a tradition of burning the branches of a rowan tree, which actually symbolizes any bad feelings between or towards a family member or friends. And while the branch is burning, it actually puts aside any negative feelings. And then if the fire does go out, it's very bad luck. Hogmanay is actually the New Year's. It's a 3-day celebration. It happens all around Scotland. December 31st, people light torches in the capital, and there are pipes and drums playing, and they walk down all through the city. And when they reach the destination, which is Calton Hill, there's a firework finale. The 31st, there's concerts. It's just pretty much a big party, and a national sing-along is sung, Auld Lang Syne. I don't know how to say that. And then January 1st, people just dress up in quirky and fun costumes, and they go in a freezing river in Queensferry. And also I found there are, like I said, different things to do during New Year's all over Scotland, but in Inverness, which is a little more north, but kind of towards the center of the country, they have fireworks and folk entertainment, bands, stuff like that. These are just some of the pictures, which are cool, that I found of New Year's, the Viking tradition, and celebrate the Vikings, stuff like that. This is the big march in the capital. One of the other holidays, non-traditional holidays, is St. Andrew's Day. It is November 30th of every year, and it reflects the patron saint of Scotland, Andrew. He is actually known as the disciple of Jesus, and he is said to have died bound to the cross in Greece. This is represented in the flag, obviously, the white and blue flag with a big white X. The folklore is actually associated with this day, and this day is particularly special for women who want to marry a man. On midnight of the 29th of November, women actually pray to see signs of their possible future husbands. People actually drop candle wax into a bucket in hopes to see a shape, of their profession, of what their husband might be in. I don't know, a ruler if he's a teacher, or policeman, gun, badges, stuff like that. And then also they throw apple peels over their shoulder, and the apple peels are said to go into the ground in hopes to see the first letter of their future husband's name. Just crazy little folklore traditions that I found quite interesting. The reason why I actually did pick Scotland because I've always had a big interest in Scotland ever since I was a kid. I am not originally from Scotland. I have no family ties or roots to Scotland. So learning about it has always been really fascinating. The culture is really fun, unique, seems really uplifting. They like to party, and family is a big thing as well. I actually do want to live there and work in Scotland one day, bring my parents maybe, if I ever have money. Years back, I actually found a novel series which is actually based off of Scotland. It's mainly based off the Highland way of life and the different clans, and it is also phenomenal how the writer and author incorporate the history of Scotland, which is really cool. The series is by Diana Gabaldon. There's 9 novels. It's not books because they're literally like 800 or 900 pages. They also started a TV show a few years ago. Both are awesome. It was really interesting. Like I said, I knew back then traditionally they ate very healthy when they can, especially when the seasons are good. And it's interesting to see that they have really poor eating habits and the health issues that Scotland deals with today. Um, but, nothing you can do about it. Here are some sources, and if you guys didn't want to hear my annoying voice, you can just hit mute and click through everything. I look forward to seeing everyone else's presentations and have a good end to everyone's semester. Thanks for watching and listening.